All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another conversation time. It is May 19th. Let's see. You know how it goes. Give us a second and we're going to get going.
Teal and they're talking about y'all late.
Already?
Nah, she just mad early. She was on there a whole day in
She
advance.
took that nap. She was ready. I feel her. All right, hold on. Give me just a minute here.
Hey, Teal, yeah, I see you.
Y'all know how this works. If you are in here with us, let us know. Talk to us and comment. It is called conversation time for a reason. Oh, me. I feel like this week's been somewhat short.
Nah, next week definitely will be. We got the Memorial Day
Mm-hmm.
holiday coming up. So a lot of people are taking off on Friday or
I did.
starting their vacation time early.
Mm-hmm. Can y'all hear us okay? I feel like mine's not working right. Trying. We're getting there.
Because, yeah, I think that's the time a lot of people head down to the beach. Is that what they typically do?
Well, and kids are starting to just now getting out of school and whatnot. Most of them are probably either out of school now or they're like 1 week left.
Mm.
So they're usually out by either uh, Memorial Day or first week of
Oh,
June.
yeah, that's right, because we're about to be in June here in a
Isn't
second.
that weird?
6 months into the 2023.
You
Halfway
just
through
say
the
New
year.
Year.
Not anymore. Good.
Okay, good. Didn't know if it was working well or not.
But yeah, last time we were on was 2 weeks ago. We had Strawberry Festival.
Mm-hmm.
That was insane.
I mean, it was like it normally is. It was the 43rd annual.
I think that was my first time out there. That was crazy.
You've been out there with me before.
I didn't go with you that year.
There's something with my headphones in because I'm muffled and I don't know what it is.
Nah, you sound.
I might sound fine, but I'm muffled in my
Uh oh.
in my
Nah,
headphones.
people say you sound fine, so we're gonna go
Okay.
with that. But yeah, I didn't realize people like strawberries that much.
People love strawberries.
Like the line just to get it was massive. Like we stood in line for 45 minutes so
It
you can
was
get your
not
chocolate covered
45
strawberry.
minutes.
It was a solid 45.
It was not no 45 minutes. At the most, it was like 15. What are you talking about? I don't know what line you stood in, but it wasn't
But
that
yeah, there
one.
were thousands of people out there for the strawberry festival. Um, I would have liked to see like strawberry lemonade. I went
They
out
very
there with that
limited.
expectation, and I was disappointed. But nonetheless, it was still a cool event. I didn't realize that the community school put that on
Hmm.
each year. So
They're very limited in their products, which doesn't make much sense.
nah, because
Because
I
there's a
mean, I
lot of
guess
things you could do with a
yeah,
strawberry.
but I guess they know their consumers because people were out there for that strawberry shortcake and
Which is, I'm sorry, and I mean, no offense to anybody who likes it, but I know that they make those biscuits way far in advance. So they're not, I mean, I'm not a huge strawberry shortcake fan to begin with.
yeah, I like a strawberry shortcake, but I wasn't standing in line because the line was like down the block just to get a strawberry shortcake.
Now, that one was ridiculously long.
But
But they were good, though.
and then the next day the Tacoritas fest, that was a good time.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. I look forward. I hope they bring that back again next year.
Anything with a taco, you can't go wrong.
They had tacos from a couple different vendors that were out there. Um, Margaritas. They were delicious. I did get a strawberry margarita at the Tacoritas Fest, so that was good. And yeah, the vendors they had out there, it was cool. But had different vendors that were giving nachos, that were doing tacos, of course, empanadas,
Empanadas.
empanadas. Yeah,
It might be the same as an empalada. I don't know.
whatever.
Oops. Which we didn't get to try this, but we'll have to try because I've never had one. But they said
Because
they're
yeah,
really
I
good.
filled up. Crescent Cities is always a favorite of mine.
Always.
So yeah, I always frequent their food truck or food stand when they have it.
Mhm.
And yeah, they didn't miss again this year. It
Well,
was
you know that fest that they did in September of last year, which was the first one of that one too. I think that one's just like Taco Fest.
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah. It was Taco Fest,
They won,
and they're doing Taco Fest again this year. I'm gonna be out there again.
which is gonna be nice. I'm starting to see a few more people trickle in here, so please let us know that you're in here. Say hello, talk to us. What else did we have? Braden liked the taco. Well, no, he didn't go for Taco Fest. He went for strawberries.
Yeah, I don't think he was really pressed on it.
He liked it. He was tired.
Yeah, okay.
Just because you weren't pressed on it. Don't make my son not like strawberries because you don't like them.
But yeah, that was last week. Nothing big happening this week.
Not festivals or anything that I can tell because it's, what is this week?
It's Mother's Day. How we missed the whole Mother's Day? Mother's Day was last week. So
sorry,
happy Mother's Day to everybody. Happy Mother's Day.
Thanks. Empanada Nirvana. Is that around here?
I think that was the stand that they had. Taco Tuesday would hit on here on a Friday. What?
But then it's not Taco Tuesday.
It's not Taco Tuesday, my guy. But yeah. Anyway, let me jump into these movies because there's a whole bunch we got to go through.
You just barely mentioned Mother's Day, and I was just breezed on.
Because I mean, Mother's Day it's already passed.
So was Strawberry Festival and Tacorita Fest.
What do you want to talk about for Mother's Day?
No, I was just saying. I just had to point it out.
You're a mother every day.
So what?
And we acknowledge moms every day. Just a little bit more special on Mother's Day.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
So for Father's Day, we need festivals and that was the thing I wanted to put on my list. Every year, I think people always talk about like the comparison between Mother's Day and Father's Day. We always see these memes, and it's like Mother's Day, people are going out getting cards, candies, balloons. The restaurants are filled up. People are taking their moms out. Father's Day, it's like, all right, Dad, what you cooking on the grill for us? And it's like,
I think I get why though. I get it, and this might like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Bias?
Not bias. Nah, it's not bias, but it might pluck some nerves. But I think it's because we carried them for 9 months and then pushed it out, and or cut it out. However you did it.
I mean, I understand.
Y'all were there for moral support. Thanks.
Okay, I hear you. I get it.
I think that's it. Plus, we've also made it very clear that I'm not doing anything on Mother's Day. No cooking, no cleaning.
I'm gonna do that for Father's Day. I'm just gonna put my feet up and sleep.
That's fine. Your son will sleep right there with you.
Oh man.
We took a nice little nap.
But yeah, moving on to these movies, TV, and entertainment. A lot of shows going on hiatus or season finale.
Mm-hmm.
Starting off with All American. You know, it's not even about football anymore.
It hasn't been about football for the last like 4 seasons.
Like, I don't even know what they're doing anymore. It's more like a teenage love drama.
Yeah.
My man Billy, what's his last name?
Baker.
Billy Baker. I was gonna say Billy Blanks.
Nah.
But yeah, Billy Baker, that was played by Taye Diggs. He left the show here recently, so I was wondering how it was going to fare with him leaving off of the show. But I mean, it is what it is. It's
held its own right now.
I hope this is the last season they come out with, because really the characters are just getting boring to me now.
The next season is the last. There's a lot of shows that's ended next seasons.
But yeah, people that kept track of All American, you know, when it first came on Netflix, that was the big thing. Everybody was binge watching it. It was like, yo, y'all heard of All American? Like, it was about football.
Well,
it was
good.
And it was building that making you understand the characters, understand that South Crenshaw, Beverly rivalry that was going on. But now I'm just not vested in these college kids now. Their love story, love triangle, whatever you want to call it.
The vortex is what they call it.
But I mean, it is what it is at this point.
I mean, it's a decent storyline, but there's just some people in the characters that they just get on your nerves every time you see them on the screen. It's like, oh my God, y'all could just go off now. Yeah, they did a spinoff. It's All American Homecoming with the girl that JJ was married to, Simone. She went to college down in Atlanta. First season was okay. Like most things, the second season did not. I don't think it did that great. We didn't even watch it past like the second episode.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they did a spinoff, but I mean, I wasn't really vested in her character on the regular show, so I definitely ain't care with her a different one. But I mean, they're just giving people what they want at this point. So I mean, it is what it is.
I don't think they're gonna last long though.
I don't even know if they're still on. But I got to speak on this latest Ben Affleck movie, Hypnotic. It was a sleeper film for me.
I think you first need to explain what a sleeper film is, because everybody seems to think that means you're going to sleep.
No, all right, my bad. Sleeper film means like you weren't expecting it. Like it was
like the surprise.
It was the surprise of the year. Pretty much Ben Affleck. He's determined to find his missing daughter. He plays Detective Danny Rourke. He finds himself spiraling down a rabbit hole while investigating a series of reality-bending crimes. The movie really gave me that Inception feel while I was watching it. It's directed by Robert Rodriguez, and people know he did From Dusk Till Dawn with Quentin Tarantino. You never saw it, did you?
Isn't that a horror movie?
No, not really. Not Salma Hayek. Who's the guy that played Danny Ocean's? George Clooney. Yeah, he was in it. Anyway, I digress. I really enjoyed this movie.
It's good. It's one of those that you have to pay attention and excuse me. And it's you think like one thing's gonna happen and then they twist it around, and that happens like 3 times. And also, you do want to stay for the first post-credit scenes because there is one. So make sure you watch it because I think they've left room for a second movie, which is going to be good. It is very nice. It's very good. Ben Affleck did a very good job. Who else? Who's the woman?
She played in Queen of the South.
Okay, that's
also in movie with Will Smith. I watched too many movies.
Concussion?
No. I Am Legend.
That's right.
Yeah. Went and saw it in theaters. You know, I'm a Regal Rewards member, so they send me like trailers I could watch for extra points and credits and whatever. So I just happened to watch it. I was like, oh, this looks pretty good. Went and saw it in theaters. I mean, I wasn't expecting nothing from it. I just like how the trailer looked like something interesting, and I mean,
it was good.
It was a cool little movie on an off day. So yeah, anybody that doesn't have anything going on, just want to go catch a movie. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I gave it a 10 out of 10 just because, you know, I had zero expectations, and yeah, it's hard to get. But I mean, it was captivating from start to finish. Like there was no lag at all. It was just straight action, storyline. Yeah, Regal Rewards. Yeah, if you're not on it, yeah, Regal. I need a plug or something. Flow me some extra credits this way. But
or an endorsement deal. We're there long enough. They know
but,
us.
It was definitely a good movie. I think while he gets prepared for this new Flash movie that's about to come out. But y'all check it out. Hypnotic, in theaters now.
And speaking of 10, let's go ahead and recap this Fast 10.
People were really getting upset today when I was talking about it.
We didn't say anything.
They were like, "Oh, you're spoiling the movie." I'm like, I didn't say anything except this is part 1.
So it does officially release today, but of course, you know, most of these movies do an early release on Thursdays. I think they've pretty much completely just foregone the laws of physics now, because there's a lot of things that he's like, I mean, there's a lot of laughable moments just at the physics alone, just like, really, this makes no sense. But they went to space in the last one in an old beat up car, so you can't expect too awful much. But it was good.
So Kev on stage, he actually he put on there, it was a tweet talking about at what point do we just completely disregard reality for the Fast and the Furious saga movies? And that really had me thinking as I'm watching the movie, like, at what point did we get away from
I think it had to have been the
racing?
5th one.
I think it was before that because, like, and it's funny because now you go to the movies to watch the Fast and the Furious and it's like, this is outrageous.
Ridiculously outrageous.
Like me watching it yesterday was just like comical because I'm like, all right, this is getting ridiculous. But I think we come to expect that now from movies. The thing is, like, who goes to the movies now to want to see reality? We use movies as an escape from our actual reality. So being able to go see these these essential action heroes that's on the screen, like, yeah, obviously it started off as street racing, that was fun, but we've also grown up with this series for 20 years.
20 years.
I had to stop and think. I was like, when the first Fast and the Furious came out, I was 14 years old.
Oh God.
I remember when it came out. I remember people talking about it. I remember people talking about going to see it, talking about that street racing culture. Back when people were souping up Hondas and putting underglow on their cars and doing all that, and now what this franchise has grown into, like the star-studded cast that it embodies at this point is outrageous. I think the Fast and the Furious sagas have resurrected more people than Jesus himself. Because just watching it, you'd be like, how is this person back alive?
It's again? One of those that if you die, you don't really die. So it's like you can be sad about these things, but I'm pretty sure they're going to come back at some point.
But it's enjoyable. I even put out a post yesterday saying we should start a drinking game based off of how many times they say family in the movie, because it's just like after every other word, it's like, we're doing it for family.
Family.
And it's like, does family just give us an extra adrenaline punch?
It's
Like,
supposed
what's going on? Like, Vin, how are you flying through the air
Through
from one
the
bridge to
air.
another and cradling your lady while getting captured by the car on the other side?
And it doesn't matter how hard that car falls, it's still gonna drive. It doesn't matter.
Vin Diesel, I don't know how he does it. It's like,
Going from this to just being I am Groot.
nah, Ben getting paid, but
yeah,
I
he
mean,
is.
Fast 10. I mean, it's everything you expected out of the Fast and the Furious series. I mean, anybody that enjoys these characters, you got Tyrese.
Jason Momoa did
I had
very
to
well.
take a
in
deep
this.
breath as I go through the characters, because it's just so many of them.
It's a lot.
Tyrese, Ludacris, Jason Statham, John Cena. I mean, him being on
yeah.
screen as just that comic relief is great. Even just seeing Jason Momoa in this role
He
here,
is hilarious.
like, I need this dude to play a villain. Like, if he wasn't such a buff dude, they should get him to play Joker,
Yeah.
just because of how his personality was in Fast 10.
But this is his personality in real life. If you've watched him in interviews and whatnot, he is just nuts. He's crazy, and he just thinks everything's hilarious. And even when he was on trial for the Amber Heard Johnny Depp case, they had to tell him to take it seriously because that's just his personality.
I mean, yeah, just watching him on the screen on the movie. I mean, it was enjoyable, because it's like, yo, this dude is a villain. Like,
He did a very good job. Out of all of their villains they've had, not just because I like Jason Momoa, but I think he's offered the most.
I mean, yeah, just his overall. He was just a charismatic individual on there, and just
You don't want to like him.
you don't, but you're like, yo, like this guy right here. Like, he was just so enjoyable to watch on the screen. Damien asks, is there any other movie series that has transformed to something else like this? You mean in terms of like blockbuster franchise, like how big they've gotten?
Jurassic Park.
No, I don't think Jurassic Park has that cult following like this. Because, I mean, what are we doing? We're just doing Harry Potter transition from books. I don't think it was ever like action, because it followed a series.
But you're getting all your spinoffs with that too.
Yeah, but I don't think it's had like this cult following. Like we.
Well, I guess technically, if you want a cult following, Michael, that can be the
Michael
only
what?
Halloween. That can be the only other thing that I can think of that people are going to see that no matter what happens with it. You know he's not going to die, but they're going to go see this movie. I would say that.
I'm talking about, but how we got started. Like, this was street racing. They were over here robbing DVDs off of semi trucks. To now we're pulling off great feats, great missions over in Dubai. Like, they span 12 continents.
In this movie alone,
There
they've
ain't
done
even
pretty
12
good.
continents.
It's countries. We'll do countries. Blockbuster films, but like it's nothing like the original from racing. I don't know, super action flick. I don't know anything that transitioned like this. This has held its own for 20 years. I mean, it's done okay.
I mean, that's longevity. Like, I don't know what else to call it. I mean, I'm gonna keep saying it till the wheels fall off. No pun intended. But yeah,
The wheels never fall.
so, but yeah, the way they ended the movie is like, oh yeah, part 2 is about to be crazy.
Which you said comes out in 2025, right?
Yeah, and I'm not gonna say much more, just because I don't want to spoil nothing for people getting upset with me when I was talking about it earlier. I didn't even say it. Y'all just go see it.
It's worth it.
Because the
Very
end credits has me hyping the theaters. Like, oh man!
Oh, they have an after credit scene as well. And I think a lot of movies are starting to take on this after credit scene. At least one, like Marvel's been doing. They're seeing that it's going to get people to stay. Obviously, they're seeing that it's generating more of an interest in coming back to see it again. So it works for them for sure. What else you got?
I got to touch on this From. So it originally MGM brought him out. It was Epix, I believe.
Oh, is
Epic
it on MGM now?
Yeah. So From it's the premise is the residents of a nightmare small town struggle to find a way out of a mysterious unknown force which keeps them from leaving. Unwilling residents strive to stay alive and search for a way out, but they are plagued by terrifying nocturnal creatures from surrounding forests and secret hidden towns. I got hip to it last year when the first series came out. And I'm always just looking for that random show that nobody's really talking about, that's not really popular yet. And I started watching it then. I think you started watching it with me. And you don't really do horror movies
I don't.
or horror shows, but this one here, it just because it's not really like, oh, it's in your face horror. It's like, oh, this is kind of crazy. Like everyone's just stuck here. How are we going to get out? They're trying to figure it out. And at night, like these vampire-esque type creatures are surrounding them.
And the thing is, you still don't know why you're stuck here or why you can't leave. So they're trying to figure that out too. And the whole premise is these creatures supposedly only attack at night. So you have to stay in your house or in some sort of a confined space at night. And you have to cover all your windows and this, that, and the other. And just like you said, a vampire thing with most vampire stories, they have to be invited in. So if they cannot cross your threshold unless you invite them in. So with that being, to do that, they look like people you know or people you love. So you think that you're talking to your loved one. They ask you, hey, I need help, blah, 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 this, that, and the other, let me in. They say, yeah, and then it turns out to be this monster of sorts. So, but then it's something, and this is all explained in the first season too. It's not spoilers or anything. It's creepy, but there's a talisman of some sort too that they found will help ward these creatures off of some sort. So if you keep that next to your window or next to your door or something, it's supposed to keep you safe too. So it's really interesting to see.
And I got to go back through season 2 because people are saying it's too terrifying to finish. Like, I wouldn't say all that.
That's a heavy statement.
I wouldn't say all that. I mean, it's kind of frightening, but too terrified? I don't know. What Damien said, people like a good Easter egg and a good teaser at the end of credits. Yeah, definitely. And I think it builds up the suspense, and definitely what people want to do, like we said, cliffhanger, if they want to have open-ended storyline to be able to offer something else later on, that's good to have. So,
what platform is this show on?
From is on.
Is it MGM now or is it Epix?
Or is it Amazon? Somebody said it on. Check my last post on Facebook with that image. Somebody had put it out there what it's on now. Man, I just watch it on the Cinema app.
Hold on, I'll tell you. MGM Plus.
You know how I do. Cinema app.
Cinema. Original Networks was Epix. It's on MGM Plus now, but like you said, you can get it on Cinema just fine. So it's good. And like you said, I don't like scary things. I can't do scary movies or, whatever. But this is pretty decent. And it has, what's that guy's name that we can't remember?
Harold begins with a P. He played in Best Man Holiday. Yeah, I'm not even going to butcher his last name like that. But
Parenthood.
Yeah, but Hulu just dropped a new FBI season of Class of '09. There are a lot of police and medical shows out right now. But yeah, this one here, I enjoyed it.
I got to go back and watch it.
Class of '09's an American FBI drama thriller that follows a class of FBI agents across 3 distinct time periods. The past, which was in 2009, the present in 2003, and the future 2023 in the future in 2034, focusing on transformation of the U.S. criminal justice system as it's already altered by the rise of artificial intelligence, which is something that we're all becoming familiar with in this day and age. The series examines the nature behind justice, humanity, and the choices people make that ultimately define their lives and legacy. I got caught up watching this because my man Brian Tyree Henry, Paperboy from Atlanta, he's in this, and I got to say that guy's range.
He's doing so well.
Like, to see him on the character that he played in Atlanta when he was playing Paperboy, to now seeing him in this show is like night and day. But then he also played in that Disney movie, The Eternals.
Marvel.
Yeah, but I mean, I just like his character, how he acts, how he portrays himself on the screen. Great actor. And then Kate Mara, you're aware of her. I don't know too much about her.
She's one of those that just pops up in the most random places.
But yeah, I mean, Class of '09, I've been enjoying it.
I gotta go back and get caught up because I didn't pay attention.
And yeah, it's one of those shows you got to pay attention to because, like I said, it's spanning those three different time periods, and it all tells a story and how it's all connected together. So the storytelling in the overall series is great. and just seeing how those characters are connected. And like I said, just from a justice standpoint, humanitarian standpoint, how the people have to make those decisions, have to make those choices, and how their lives are altered and twisted and changed around. I mean, it's great to watch. I'm enjoying it.
Had a lot in entertainment today.
There's a lot of shows that's out. Like, I don't watch too much, but when I do, And then this last one here, I'll wrap it up with the Citadel, which is Amazon's latest development. They said this costs the most money out of any development on any series.
Probably just to pay everybody who's in it alone.
There ain't that many people.
Stanley Tucci is one. Stanley Tucci's got himself a little name. Priyanka Chopra, I can't imagine she's too awful cheap.
You got to say Jonas on the end.
Priyanka Chopra Jonas, excuse me. Why are you mad about that woman who she married?
I mean, I ain't mad. I'm just saying, Jonas Brothers.
She likes it.
But the global spy agency, the Citadel, has fallen, and the memory of its agents have been erased. Now the powerful Manticore crime syndicate is filling the power vacuum. Citadel agents must remember their past and find the strength to fight back. That was my brief synopsis of it. I mean, it's Amazon. It's going to give you that action. It's also done by the Russo brothers, I believe, who, if you're familiar with their work in Marvel. Also, I got to plug this in. Netflix has Extradition 2 with Chris Hemsworth. If you haven't seen Extradition 1, that movie is crazy. Also, no, not yet. Oh, okay. But also another movie that's directed by the Russo brothers. The trailer just came out. The new extended trailer, and it looks good.
I gotta go back and watch the first one. I started watching it with you, and I got distracted by something.
But yeah, I mean, if you enjoy action movies, I'm gonna give you all the reviews for all the action shows. Just something to watch throughout the day that's gonna keep you entertained and engaged. So yeah, that's another one. That's my top 5 list for this week. You ain't have nothing else?
Oh no, that's all I've got right now.
Okay.
That I can think of.
I got to get to the topic at hand here, because
this is what I've been wanting to talk about all week, because I need to know people's thoughts on it.
All week?
Since we've been saying we were going to do a live, yeah.
Oh, man. So, the boy, Ja Morant.
Should you be using that one with him, or?
Which one you want me to use? Is that the one you want me to use instead? You want me to... Is that? I don't think that's appropriate. I don't think that's appropriate for me to use.
Oh, what was that?
You don't touch my buttons no more. You don't touch my buttons. No.
Well, you gotta fix it.
Don't touch my buttons. But
that one works perfect.
If I gave out donkeys of the day, it would go to Ja. And yeah, you're right. There's been a lot of discussion on the interwebs. That's the only reason I'm discussing it today. I don't try and jump in many of these foolish conversations throughout the day, but when it becomes a statement and a topic of conversation, I feel like we need to discuss it on the show. Because, I mean, we live in a country where, great segue. Number one is the freedom of speech, so people are entitled to their own feelings and what they want to say. And also, Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, which
he does proudly.
Which my boy does proudly. So anybody that's been living under a rock for the last couple of days, months, weeks, 23-year-old Ja Morant, guard for the Memphis Grizzlies, has been suspended after a second video of him flashing a firearm on social media. This one was posted on his friend's social media account while sitting in the car listening to music. So the first video of him flashing the gun occurred in March of this year. He was intoxicated in a Denver club when the Grizzlies were in town playing the Nuggets. And since this is the second offense, he has been suspended for 8 games without pay. Commissioner Adam Silver says his conduct is irresponsible, reckless, and potentially very dangerous. And over the past year, Morant has been involved in several off-court incidents. He is currently being sued by a high school prospect after a fight during a pickup game in Morant's backyard took place. And Morant and Pack are accused of punching the boy in the head. The teenager told the police at the time. Pack, I guess that's his boy, is also banned from games at FedEx Forum in Memphis for confronting the Pacers travel party. He would step onto court during the game and confront the Pacers. Morant's 5-year, $194 million max contract is set to begin this coming season. He has endorsement deals with Nike and Powerade. Powerade pulled the ad with Morant following the first incident in March, and a spokesman for the company stated, "At this time, we do not have any job-related content running." Ja also issued a statement and an apology saying that he's disappointed in a lot of people that have supported him in this journey, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go through it because we know what he said.
I put Pac in there because it seems like a lot of his offenses and a lot of his issues that he's having are surrounded by this Devontae Pack, which is his friend. And I think, to me, it just says you can't bring everybody with you. Like, this last incident was him on his friends. It was his IG that he was going live, and then Pac happened to see that he was still brandishing this firearm and whatnot, and then tried to pull the video up like close to his chest so you didn't see anything. But he's also getting him in trouble with this fight that supposedly happened in his backyard and other things that he's also seems to have a temper himself. But then we didn't put on here either. Nike's pulling the.
Well, that was the slide I just recently posted.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, like you said, there's multiple angles to look at this from. People online were arguing like, "Oh, why can't he have a gun? It's Second Amendment right." Yes, it is your right.
That's
Second
not the
Amendment
problem.
right to bear arms. Nobody is saying anything about him having a gun, not having a gun. He shouldn't have a gun. The issue is with the irresponsible behavior. One, anybody that has a firearm should understand appropriate firearm safety. You shouldn't be operating a fire. I say you shouldn't be because I got some country friends on here that like to get drunk, go out in the country, shoot firearms. So you shouldn't be intoxicated with the firearm. You definitely shouldn't be intoxicated with a firearm inside of your local club. And the issue with that was that he had already been reprimanded one time for having it. And the issue the second time is he was listening to what they considered gangster rap music. We know what's going on in the video with him brandishing and showing the firearm off during the video. But I think the big takeaway from it is this was your second offense. People like to say, "Oh, he's a 23-year-old kid." You can't use 23 and kid in the same sentence.
You're
like,
old enough to know better.
This is a grown man. Like, and I was explaining to some people earlier in one of my group chats. I had asked the same question, like how they felt about the situation. They were like, "Oh, he's allowed to have a gun, this and that." You can, but also the NBA is his employer. He's an employee. Jobs have codes of conducts. They have policies that as employees we have to sign that says that while we're employed by these companies, we're going to act in a certain type of way. So I don't know what the NBA has. I'm sure it's some type of image likeness contract that they sign that might say, "Hey, we're not going to do certain things out in public.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to conduct ourselves in an appropriate manner." So if you choose to violate those rules and those codes of ethics, then potentially you could be fined or you can be suspended, which has happened in this current situation. And as we saw, now Nike has removed his sneakers from their app, just like they did with Kyrie before. So I think we're seeing a similar trend here with these athletes. What Cam say? But yeah, the Grizzlies dropped Dylan Brooks like he was the reason they lost the series. I don't know anything about that, Cam. I ain't been keeping up with the playoffs. I just kept getting wind of this news here and hearing what was going on. But
Well, the thing is that they're trying to say that they're making an example of him and they're being too harsh on him with the 8-game suspension without pay, blah, this, that, and the other, that he doesn't need to have that harsh of a punishment. Like you said, you're under contract with these people. You need to, one, read it carefully to see what you can and cannot do. But even this, common sense would say that you've got kids and other people looking at you at all times. And that was one of the arguments, too, in these articles is that somebody with the NBA was saying that, you are the face to a lot of kids and younger adults and whatnot who look up to you, and this is what you're showing them. So you have to be aware of the presence that you're putting out to these people because they're watching your every move.
And then somebody, I just be seeing goofy comments online, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or any of those.
Everybody's
apps.
got an opinion.
Yeah, somebody was like, "Well, he didn't ask to be a role model," and it's like,
but you stepped into this. If you're stepping into the public eye, you're gonna be a role model to somebody.
You can't take that stance. "Oh, I didn't ask to be a role model." When you're out there, you're signing autographs for these kids. Kids are going out, they're buying your jerseys, your shoes, any merchandise that you have, regardless if you ask for it or not. That's the position that you're in. So yeah, nobody's saying, "Oh, don't have fun," but just be mindful of what's going on. Especially like I said, everything doesn't need to be publicized. And I gotta remember how old he is because I think at 23, me and my friends were doing foolish stuff, but
I'm sure.
we had sense to know, like, one, social media wasn't around like it is now when we were that age, but also we also grew up in the era where it was like everything doesn't need to be recorded. Like,
Yeah.
no fingerprints, no evidence was always the stance. Like, no, everything is not for everybody. I think now, especially with social media, everybody's like, oh, I got to record this so people know what's happening, or so I can have clout and show.
Well,
what's
see,
going
and that's
on.
it's how you said it was. You don't have to record everything now. Their stance is if you don't record it, it didn't happen.
And sometimes that's for the best. Sometimes you just don't need everyone in your business knowing what's going on. Like if you want to sing and dance and do stuff on your Instagram, your live, your Snapchat, your TikTok, whatever, that's cool. But be mindful. Like my boy was using guns as a prop. It was like, dude, you ain't shooting a music video. You just
need to chill for a second.
you riding shotgun with a shotgun. That's crazy.
Oh, not shotgun.
That was a good one, though.
Thanks. But yeah, moving on. That was my piece on the situation. What else we got? Oh, speaking of social media, good old TikTok.
Tickety tock.
So, Montana's governor signed Senate Bill 419 on Wednesday, saying that he wants to protect the state's residents' private information from being compromised. He pointed to the Chinese government as a potential threat, the Chinese Communist Party using TikTok to spy on Americans and violate their privacy and collect their personal, private, sensitive information. So Montana actually will become the first state to ban TikTok overall, which is crazy.
How do you enforce that?
How? And I had a friend on Facebook earlier that was talking about it. So they ban it in their app store. So anything on the app, Google Play Store, they go in there, they ban it. According to the measure in Montana, platforms that offer the app on their marketplace, such as Google Play Store and Apple Store, will be subjected to fines of up to $10,000 a day for violations. So he was actually saying that in places like Dubai, if you go in Dubai and you're looking at any type of pornographic material on your phone, laptop, whatever, that you could be subjected to jail. So,
That means, but that would have to mean that they're watching you.
yeah.
They're not going to admit that.
Who's not going to admit it?
The government.
I mean,
Our government won't admit it.
if you download it, they have ways to track downloads on there, and if you're using it, these phones track everything, so it's not going to be too hard. But I just thought it was interesting to see that this is the first state that's actually taken this effort, because we heard before about in the U.S., Biden had passed a bill saying that no government officials could have TikTok on their government devices. So saying this now trickled down to a state level. It's going to be interesting to see what other states follow behind this, because, once one does, the rest follow type of deal, which I'm cool with because I hate TikTok.
But you don't understand that the reels that you watch on Facebook and Instagram are nothing but coming from TikTok.
I don't care. I watch it on Facebook and Instagram. I'm not on TikTok.
You don't have a TikTok account, but you watch TikTok videos.
Whatever. But we were having this conversation before, just talking about the dumbing down of America with TikTok, because, and it's true, and studies have been done where over in China, they show their population videos that's educational, technical, things that will help them advance. In America, what are we doing? We're doing the latest dance craze. They got this new stupid TikTok challenge that I saw on Twitter the other day, where kids are going in houses of people that they don't even know.
This is how you get shot.
It's called the go in a random house challenge or something goofy. And it's like,
we've seen 3 incidents in the last couple weeks of people who went on the wrong property in the wrong car, whatever, and got shot.
But the thing now is, like, people aren't utilizing TikTok for what it should be. Like, they're using it for stupid stuff. These dumb challenges, like, what are they doing? Cinnamon challenges or atomic hot challenges or like dumb stuff.
All you got to do is put a challenge behind it, and somebody will do it.
Yeah, I ain't for it. Zai, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Hope everything's going well your way. But yeah, I ain't a fan of TikTok. If we were using it over here for educational purposes, or if our population wasn't going to be, I don't want to say dumb,
Oh, it's dumb.
in the next 5 to 10 years, like
It's
we're going to be able to directly correlate the issues we're going to have in the next 5 to 10 years, and it's going to be pinpointed back to TikTok.
It is.
Watch.
It is. It's a good segue to your next one
Which one is that?
about the I don't know. I'll do that one later.
Yeah, you got to
We'll
speak
do
on
those two
that,
later.
'cause I don't know.
We'll do those next week
What was my next one?
about the social media for kids.
Oh, parenting conversations on. So should parents wait? I had posted that the other day also, just asking. I saw this in a forum. Somebody said the earlier kids get smartphones, the worse their mental health as adults become. New study: 27,000 people owning a smartphone younger predicts lower self-worth, motivation, and resilience, and more sadness, anxiety, and aggression, especially for girls.
I believe it.
Smartphones should wait until high school. And that was just a question. Just really seeing where, more importantly, where parents were with this smartphone generation, and just giving kids these cellular devices, these social media devices. Is that something that you all, what are y'all's thoughts? I mean, I know us as parents, well, my kid don't need a cell phone at this age.
Well, no, he knows how to work it already. But it's just here's the thing though too. With us, when we were younger, we could wait till we were 16 to be able to have a cell phone, because the world, I don't want to say as crazy, but I would say we were a little bit more responsible than sometimes these kids now. Nowadays, you can't, and our parents could send us out, give us their phone. They still had landlines. Landlines do not exist anymore.
But
We
also,
can't give them we can't, when Braden gets older, we can't give him our phone and expect us to still be, we have to have one too.
but where's my kid going to be going where I'm not going to know exactly what's going on?
No, I'm not saying that you won't know exactly what's going on, but in a case of an emergency, he would need to reach us. But I don't necessarily think that means that he has to have like a smartphone of sorts. He would just need to have something that can do what phones are intended to do, be able to reach somebody in case of an emergency.
Yeah, they got those phones now where you can put it, they're like in the watch, where you can communicate with your kid. You know exactly what's going on. You can track them, and also, I mean, just understanding that that dopamine and serotonin levels, and how they ran studies before where it talks about when kids post content and how those likes, how they trigger something in their brain and makes them get that feel good feeling. And it's like, oh yeah, somebody likes my post. And I can understand how it creates anxiety for females, especially at that younger age.
They attach their, they attach their self-worth to their social media. So if they're not getting any likes, or if they're not getting any followers, blah, 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 this, that, and the other, their self-esteem goes way down. And then not only that, obviously we've seen how cyberbullying is a huge issue with kids, especially in the younger generation. And I mean, to the point where they've got laws against cyberbullying, because people are unfortunately unaliving themselves because of things that people say on the internet. So you have to say that I definitely could see how it has something to do, or has a correlation to your mental health, your anxiety, this, that, and the other, because people are just going to attack you one way or another.
And for me, I grew up in Xbox chat rooms when I was like old enough. And we keep saying this, like the internet wasn't around when we were coming up. Like we had dial up. You remember you had to sit there, couldn't be on the phone with someone at the same time. Fortunately for me, my parents got me my own phone line where I was on the internet 24/7. I was, I don't think back when the day you could burn CDs and
Why
download.
would I know how to burn CDs?
You were running CDs?
Yes.
That was my little hustle. I was a
hustle
man.
Stopped working. I'm gonna put viruses on.
I ain't had no viruses. I was downloading BearShare, LimeWire, Morpheus, all those, Napster. Yeah, go to school with the new CDs. But yeah, I mean that was the I guess the golden age of the dawn of technology back then. I don't think we could have fathomed how quickly these speeds would be going nowadays. But then, like, I think we still had that understanding of being able to disconnect between what's real and what's not on the internet. Because I used to be in those chat rooms. People used to call you all types of names, everything under the sun, and we just let it roll off our back. Like back then, you had to know how to crack jokes just to stay afloat. Like there was no, oh, I'm gonna get upset, I'm gonna go run, tell my mom or dad I'm being cyberbullied. Like, nah, you better know how to joke back, or you gonna drown in this chat room.
Well, at the same time too, we also had a healthy balance between an internet presence and then also being outside with friends and whatnot. Where a lot of people try to limit screen time and whatnot now. And I always said, you always say a lot of things before you're a parent, and then when that moment comes, it all goes out the window. So I'm never going to be that person that sits their kid in front of a screen and tells them to watch TV. But it's easy when you have to get something done and you need to sit him down and he's not moving, putting him in front of the TV or in front of a tablet and telling him to watch Bluey. It's going to give you at least 20 minutes. So
I think with also understanding what's appropriate social media monitoring. Like I'm definitely not putting my kid down in front of TikTok and just letting him watch just ridiculous TikTok films. But I mean, especially at this age, him being 16 months, like Bluey, Blue's Clues, Gracie's Corner, stuff like that. Like I know it's teaching him rhythm, it's teaching him repetition, colors, and it's helping him learn and while helping him stay focused at a time. I'm not just putting him in front of just some. Definitely no SpongeBob. That is the
we shouldn't have even
worst.
been watching SpongeBob.
Like,
that was horrible.
Like, but yeah, like you said, also understanding like the tablets he has are cracked down where he only has learning devices on there. So yeah, definitely having those understandings of what's appropriate social media, and as they get older, how do you balance that out for appropriate mental health? Having those conversations with your kids to know like the internet ain't real. You might think it's real, but
it's not. But it is forever. So you
internet
have
is
to be
forever,
careful
but
with
it
what you
ain't.
put out there. But I think I even had to ask Mom if I was able, like, if she allowed me to get a MySpace before I got a MySpace for that reason, because people on the internet are mean and they just suck. But
man, it was the Wild West for me. Like the internet was brand new. My mom, she wasn't big on technology back then. Like my dad, he knew enough, but I think a lot was just like, especially my peer group. I think we were just navigating new uncharted waters back then. I mean, thank God, like a lot of this filth that's out there now wasn't readily available back when I was growing up, because like you go on and type in the wrong thing in a Google search bar, you don't know what you're going to get. You're going to get hit with all types of crazy stuff. But fortunately enough, we were able to grow and navigate in a time where it was like, all right, this is the internet. This is how to use it. Web pages, development, getting involved in those things. With Hey Arnold teaching life lessons out here, making Nickelodeon great again.
I still watch Hey Arnold.
The '90s shows was a special.
The
time.
'90s was the best for TV.
Yeah, '90s raised us. You know, come home after school. You know, make a little sandwich, get something to drink, go in there. Yeah, dial-up, man. Dial-up was the worst. Modem speed was like a wheel and a hamster.
Back when the internet came on a CD in the mail. God, we're old.
I ain't that old.
We're old enough. I mean, I think the internet, and it's been said several times by many people, I think it was the best and worst thing that could have happened. It's great that it has advanced us to where we are now, but it also has given everybody, and I mean everybody, a platform to say whatever they feel like they need to say. So it's a catch-22, I guess, at sometimes. But we've got a couple of topics we'll have to save for the next time.
Which one is your Bluey and 15-year-old? Yeah. That's gonna be irrelevant by then.
Well, we'll see.
But I had a couple other ones I'll run through real quick. Another post I had put out there earlier. Data lately has been saying no recession going on. People are out still spending. But when I sit down, I talk with the average person to hurt, and feels like a lot more people are struggling than data's leading on to right now. And I asked a few people this question. Yeah, I think people are definitely hurting and struggling. Like, no doubt about it. Like, recession hasn't gone anywhere. We're still knocking on that door. I just think now people are aware of it. They know it's not going anywhere, but at the same time, we're not going to jeopardize our livelihoods. And
I think we just adapted to it.
Yeah, I mean, we
what
adapt.
Else can you do?
People are figuring out how to make ends meet, and also, I think we were in such discomfort for such a long time with the pandemic, where we were just in isolation. When we came out of it, and it's like, all right, now we're getting hit with high prices of everything, and it's like, people don't want to be in that position where they're like, all right, I can't do something. To the point now where it's talking about credit cards that have hit a rapid rate of just how high they are at this point, where it's saying that, they're up to like 20.5, 20.5%.
What for the percentage rate or their
Well, yeah, percentage rates in general, and just how quickly people are consuming credit debt at this day and age. Man, I probably get, I can't even say how many credit card statements I get in the mail just talking about, hey, you want to open up a new credit card, or hey,
you're pre-approved.
you're pre-approved. But here are 5 things to know after recent rate hikes. I'm not going to go through all these. I'm going to let you all take a look and just see. Credit card rates have been breaking records high, being in November, recently hitting 20.23% on April. And now with the latest rate hike that's been going on, even with the 30-year fixed mortgages, now they're propositioning for 40-year mortgages. So clearly they're trying to get people to spend, open up new lines of credit. Because, I mean, that's the only way the economy is going to stay afloat is if we keep dumping money into it as we print more money, to the point where they were talking about the debt ceiling. What's the point of the debt ceiling when we're just going to keep raising it? We keep raising the roof.
Oh my gosh.
But I think it's interesting. Just trying to find ways just to not go in more debt than what we already are. But good luck with that.
You don't have a choice at sometimes though. Like you said, most people are not going to give up their lifestyle. If you've been accustomed to a certain lifestyle for even like the last 5 years, you're not going to give it up. So you're going to adapt to what you need to do. And to some people, that means just going into debt and dealing with it later. So, you need to find healthier ways to do it. If that's what you want to do, keep your lifestyle up. And obviously you're going to have to make a sacrifice somewhere else.
But I mean, and also with that, I mean, it's easier said than done. But then we also got to look at the number of layoffs that have occurred here this year alone.
Oh, yeah.
Even with the COVID happened, where people were getting let go because they couldn't go into a workspace, or just those jobs just weren't needed at the time. To then we come out of the pandemic, to people getting let go, to the rise of AI now, taking jobs that once were prominent. The way I say now, like I've been saying it for years, like kids are going to college. Like how many seniors just graduated college to go into a workforce that their skill set's already obsolete or undervalued, for them to come out of college with crippling debt at this point. And it's like, unless you're going in with a skill set, or or just have a great trade, or already have those connections made, the majority of these kids graduating, I mean, what's the workforce they're going into? I think just like we had coming out of college, we had lofty expectations for what life was supposed to be like for us. We were like, nah, I got to come out. I got to make $60,000, $70,000. I got to be able to do this and be able to do that. And then you get into the workforce, and it's like, nah, you're going to settle for these menial paying jobs, and you're going to take what you can get. Because
hope you work your way up.
Because the American dream was sold to us, go to college.
You definitely need to get a trade at this point.
Get a good education, graduate, get a good job. Like we have to do this show with my grandfather one day, because I got to get his perspective on when he was coming up and how the differences were. Because he was able to go in the post office, make a great career out of it, retire, live great, travel, raise a family, tell stories. Like, I need to get his perspective on how he sees how things have changed, and if his philosophy, because when I was growing up, his whole thing was education. I mean, and I still feel like education is definitely the key to one of the keys to success. Because I mean,
it is.
It's always what you know and who you know and how to use it at the same time.
There's other ways of getting it than having to go to a 4-year college.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, and if it's not a 4-year traditional educational route, what does education look like in the sense of a trade? Because we just keep pushing kids to that. You got to go to a 4-year college, and the payoff isn't there at all. They're not seeing the rewards that would traditionally come from being able to go to college for 4 years, and they're racking up that debt. I talk to people all the time that just got $200,000, $300,000 in student loan debt. How do you pay that back on a $40,000 a year salary? You can't. You are forever indebted to the American college system. So yeah, looking later on, like how do we change that up? What's going to be the moving force that just tells kids like, hey, there's other ways. And now with the rise of AI, like it's about to get crazy out here. Went to college for marketing, and now artificial intelligence can do what a whole marketing team once could do. It can write your copy for you. It can tell you your target market. It can post your content, create your content. It's like, where are we headed? But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for today. You got anything else?
That's about it. Shout out to a new little, well, not necessarily new to us because we hadn't tried it yet, which is where we're hopefully going to head here soon. If you like ramen, this is my first time having ramen too. Is when we
You never had ramen?
I have not.
You didn't grow up eating ramen? Top ramen?
I haven't had good ramen. Let's say it like that. No, I had top ramen. That was not great. Sticks and Spoons over in Lamplighter Mall over there off that's Williamson, right?
Yeah, we talked about them before. You can't be plugging people for free. They're going to have to give me a free ramen bowl or something.
We didn't talk about them before.
Yeah, I talked about them last week.
Well, I'm talking about them again because we're going again. It's really good. Check it out. I think they've got some weird hours, but it's worth it if you can figure it out. That's all I got.
Yeah, then we got a couple other new restaurants coming into the Roanoke area. So yeah, once those get up and running, I'm quite sure we'll be there to check it out. And yeah, we'll give you our take on that.
But if that's all you've got, everybody have a great weekend. Stay safe. If you're traveling, just take your time. People are out here crazy. You never know what's going to happen. But that's all I've got.
All right.
Bye.